Look at how much damage is coming up onto Wanfu right now. Shamans do so much healing when they're low, but man, Mia's picked 2 people up back to back. You see that he's going to be able to heal him because of their shield on him. Lots of heals are coming out onto Wanfu. You can just see the numbers all across the screen.
Yeah, this is almost a ridiculous situation for Alien Jackson to be in. To expect to be able to ignore all the CC or get out of it from Team EG is really unrealistic at this point. There you see that Hex. He's not going to do too much healing. As a Frog, Sekai just...
Oh, look at that damage going on to Talbot and Death Point right there. Cetus needs to pick him up, but he was blanket counterspell. Look at both members of both teams, CK and Talbot, taking so much damage. CKY, LOL, so low on life with Alien Jax. Still sitting pretty good on mana, so he might be able to heal through this. You see him switch his Air Shield to CKY, but Talbot, the constant damage from a warrior when you are a caster is so hard to make to get away from warriors. But look at the big swap by Team EG onto Wanfu, taking so much damage again. These life bars are going all over the place in this match.
Yeah, the data time on Wanfu is pretty much maxed out from Azale, and that's why you've seen the Riptide on him, Earthstone on the entire match. It's all Alien Jack can do to keep him up and deal with the swaps. A big triple howl.
Yeah, and there's that Spirit Link totem, and these are the defensive cooldowns that you want to watch for to see, because the next time they push, you might not have that up.
Exactly, there at the Earth Speaker giving me a quest. Thanks, bro. Talbot sitting in the middle there. It's a fear. And he has been just the big focus target for Anarchy Rock. They seem to know exactly what they're doing. You see him catching a UA to spell silence, but he's not really pressured by it. This is what we're talking about. Talbot, one of the best priests in the game, definitely the best Shadow Priest in my opinion. Just sitting with all this pressure on him, still using all of his utility spells, perfect timing, pumping out damage, playing good position. I mean, he's just the real deal here. And he's spiking below 50, unfortunately. The Sekai got into a fear there at about half health. Wanfu, dots have fallen off Wanfu, and it looks like Alien Jack's going to be able to get him back up. This could be a good turn for Anarchy.
Talbot is still in trouble, down to half health. And but look at the amount of mana that Cetus has. It's not very much right now. Didn't see a tide out of him yet, but Talbot needs to be picked up. Not choosing to shift out of Shadow Form so much because they're putting so much damage on the Wanfu. Alien Jack's dropping that Spirit Link totem. I mean, those are the things that saved his team so many times, but now that's going to be down, and Wanfu still taking lots of damage from the team EG.
Yep, chilling his shield wall right now. Definitely a good time to use it. I don't think he would have survived that burst otherwise, but he has gone through a lot of cooldowns here.
And there we go.
Now just down to the basics for his warrior, but he's staying on his target. Talbot still under a lot of pressure. That MS effect, staying up on him full time, making things a little more difficult for Cedu, and that's where a lot of his mana has gone. There hasn't been too much damage out on Zale. He's just mainly just sort of hanging out, pumping damage. He catches a fear here and there, but he's always getting out of it. And actually, Cedu needs to pay some attention to him. He needs to give him some heals and probably get around that pillar for him, because Cedu's playing really, really far back.
Definitely a spell up onto Cedu with Talbot at half health and Azale on half health. Azale using his Demon Soul right now knows he needs to put out a lot of pressure because Cedu's is death coiled. Wanfu still, look at that, so low on life right now. The dance is coming out of CKY to stop as much damage as he can, and Wanfu goes there.
Yeah, even with the regeneration and all that healing coming in, you know, TBG just finally lined up on him and put all the damage down.
Oh yeah, and the big thing, look at those wings. That's when you know a Shadow Priest is serious.
Yeah, and he just did not have that shield wall. He did not have any real big defensive cooldowns. Rage regeneration doesn't mitigate any damage, and the health gain is pretty negligible in the face of Warlock damage and Shadow Priest.
Definitely, one of the things we didn't see very much out of Talbot, and it looks like it paid off. He wasn't switching out of Shadow Form at all.
Yeah, he was just throwing some absorbs, but you know, not really stressing his mana pool at all.
And the damage numbers, this is how you can tell. And look at the Warlock damage difference right there.
It's pretty much double. Azale pumping out basically double damage from Psyche. So I think that made a bit of a difference.
It definitely did, and late game you can tell which Warlock has been keeping up his dodge, and that's the big thing. That was the big difference I saw in those two Warlocks, because Azale was constantly casting that UA every single time he had an opportunity, instead of just relying on the Soul Swap to spread it out.
Yeah. And you know, we saw the uptime of Wanfu, like I said, was pretty much just the entire match, and it kept Wanfu sub 50, making him a target the entire time. Put a lot of pressure on Alien Jax. I'm curious what they're going to change, if anything, going into this match. Maybe Ruins was just kind of rough for them? Or?
I mean, at this point, with that match being so close at that point, because they made Cedu use a couple cooldowns here and there, like the Spirit Link Totem and stuff, and that really saved his team. But there were many times during the match when Cedu was low on hit points, Azale was low on hit points, and Talbot was low on hit points.
Yeah, I see more swaps in map 2, for sure. For Anarchy Rock, if they want to take this, they're going to have to swap onto Sea-Doo. But that's why I was saying Sea-Doo always plays in the best position. As a healer, he's never around when you want to hit him. And that's kind of a good way to be as a healer. He's always max range from his teammates, but he's always perfect time to get in there for that Spirit Ring Totem. Very, very good coordination for him. Anarchy Rock needs to disrupt that. They need to get in the middle of that big triangle they set up, where Talbadar and Azale just standing there taking tons of damage, pumping out shatter damage like it's nothing to them, and Sea-Doo is comfortably healing from the sidelines. Anarchy Rock needs to get in Sea-Doo's face in a real big way and force him to play to his full potential, because that's the only way you're going to get him to make a mistake.
Oh, definitely. It looks like, stopping the damage from the Shadow Priest was also a great choice. Every time that he stopped to cast a Mind Blast, he was having some trouble getting those off.
But that's just a burst issue. I think there was more sustained damage coming from Azale than perhaps they countered on. And when you stop the burst with Shadow Priest, that helped them out quite a bit, but perhaps more pressure on Azale would be the right way to go.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, the Warlock, that's always a big decision, to train the Warlock versus train the Shadow Priest.
Maybe not train him. Maybe just, force him to port over these, get some cooldowns off of him so he's not just standing there chain casting.
Alright, I'm going to send both teams in right now.
Do it.
Because I want to see this next match. 1-0 currently for Team EG over Anarchy Rock right now.
And that's good, because Team EG lost their first round robin match, which was unexpected.
It definitely was. I mean, it's the kind of thing, obviously, you can't count out any team at this level whatsoever. We haven't seen much from Anarchy Rock.
Like I said, you told me that, and then I was like, oh, where are they from? Oh, South Korea. All right, instantly believable.
Alright, so our second round is going to be on the Ring of Valor, which a map that has undergone so many changes. Fire's gone, pillars change around a little bit, but I like this iteration of the map though. I like the very far back starting locations, and the opportunity to use line of sight straight from the beginning with that small pillar that comes up right away.
Yeah, as a long-time mage, I must say this is my favorite version of Ring of Valor 2, by a landslide.